We're live.
Excellent. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar. My name is Eric Nieves, Client Account Manager with Center Technologies. With specialized expertise in Microsoft Dynamics, we are an IT service provider that delivers technology solutions to meet each business's unique challenges, working as an extension of their team to monitor, maintain, and improve their IT systems. Steve Anderson, our solutions architect with the business intelligence team here with Center, will introduce one of our partners, InsightWorks, who help us with providing IT solutions for our customers' needs. Steve, I will turn it over to you.
Great, thanks, Eric. So yeah, I'm excited to see this. In my role as a solution architect, I work with our customers to help make sure that we're finding the right solutions for them. And sometimes Business Central doesn't have everything exactly that a customer wants. And there's groups out there like Mark with InsightWorks that have other things that can be done that make Business Central a lot better. And he's got a lot to offer. So we work with them closely. Really, it's exciting to see when those solutions come in and make a really great fit for our customers. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Mark and he'll take us through the products.
Thank you very much. All right, so what I'll do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to walk you through a little bit of a presentation here just to describe sort of who we are, what we do, those sorts of things. And then we'll jump into a software demo. So we'll spend, 20 minutes or so looking at the software and, going from there. All right, so to start, who we are, InsightWorks, we've been around for just over 10 years now as InsightWorks. And we work with Center Technologies, so we have a lot of partners. Center Technologies is definitely one that we work with all the time to deliver these solutions. Whether you're already on Business Central, upgrading from GP or moving from a different system, we work with Center quite a bit. Now we work mostly in manufacturing and distribution, so we've got a lot of applications you can see on the screen here. Lots of this pile of blocks here is a number of our applications that we'll go through. But we spend a lot of time working in warehouse and manufacturing, a little bit in retail now as well, all in Business Central to sort of improve the capabilities of Business Central, as was mentioned earlier. So all of these things here, these different apps, like I said, apply to manufacturing, distribution, shipping, planning, all sorts of things. So I thought I'd run through them in a little more detail here real quick, just to give you an overview of some of the key applications we have. And then we'll talk about, some of the free things that we offer as well, which really every Business Central implementation, should have at least several of those in every install. All right, so to get started, let's talk about distribution or warehousing, right? So if you're in the warehousing world, what are the applications you need or solutions you need above and beyond what Business Central offers to get you, more efficient in the warehouse, more efficient shipping, all of those sorts of things. So we'll start out. And now at the beginning here, when we're looking at sort of how we work from beginning to end, we've got this enhanced planning pack, and that provides forecasting tools, planning tools. If you're in manufacturing, it also provides production analysis tools, all sorts of things like that. But really the forecasting and the purchase planning in the sort of warehouse and distribution environment makes a lot of sense. And of course, production planning if you're a manufacturer. So we can use this to plan out what we need to stock, all of those sorts of things, what we need to produce if we're in manufacturing. So we plan our inventory. And then down here, this order fulfillment worksheet, once we've, sort of got all that inventory, our order fulfillment worksheet helps you get it out the door. So we can both plan for bringing the inventory in, and we can plan for getting it out the door based on, customer demand and everything else. Now, once we've done that planning up front, we send it out to the warehouse, and we've got a couple of different applications to use within the warehouse using mobile devices, barcoding, RFID, whatever you need, to be able to capture that data electronically in the warehouse. So you've got that level of real-time access to information as people are working in the warehouse, right? That automated data collection where we can physically verify what you're doing by scanning it. So your inventory is always accurate, you're more efficient, all those sorts of things. And the two applications that are listed here, one is Warehouse Insight, and that's our full WMS solution. It's got a lot of goodies in it. And then we also have a free version of that. So it's a little bit scaled down, but it does all the basics, right? If you need to do, receiving, picking or shipping, inventory movements, inventory counts, it does all of that, and it's completely free. So you can grab that and you can extend, barcoding out into your facility without spending any money on software. Now, once we've picked it, and of course you can do receiving and inventory counts, picking, all that kind of stuff. Once we've picked it out, we have to get it out the door. So we have two solutions for that as well. One is our full shipping solution. So that's Dynamic Ship, does multi-carrier rate shopping, LTL, all sorts of goodies, everything you'd need in a shipping solution for your environment. Or we have Order Ship Express, which is free. And that allows you to bring, 3 carriers, your own carriers or built-in carriers that give you discounted rates, and allows you to generate labels for those carriers directly within Business Central. Captures the tracking information, generates the labels, all of that kind of good stuff. And again, that's completely free. So that's actually great if you work with 1 or 2 primary carriers, even if you're doing a high volume, or if you're not doing a high volume and you only ship a few packages a week. This is a great solution for you, right? If you need something more capable, that's the Dynamic Ship solution. All right, so those are some of the applications of distribution. We'll look into them in a moment. Now, if you're in the manufacturing side, there's a little more to it, but same thing. We've got that enhanced planning pack to plan your purchasing, plan your production, do your forecasting, those sorts of things. Once we've planned everything out, we send it out to be scheduled. And there's 2 applications for that. One is, hey, this is a theme. One is free and one is more advanced. So the advanced planning and scheduling allows you to automatically generate a production schedule. The graphical scheduler is free. And again, everybody should use this, even if you're not doing manufacturing, because it does allow you to actually plot all sorts of data within Business Central, including things like scheduling your picks, or maybe scheduling your warehouse shipments, or even your loading dock for receipts, all those sorts of things. It gives you a graphical way, a visual way of seeing the information in Business Central that's time-based, right? So stuff going out the door, stuff coming in the door, manufacturing, those types of things, that's what it can handle. Now, once we've scheduled it, we send it out to the shop floor for execution. And there we've got, the MES solution. So it allows us to capture, labor. So we've got labor traceability and actual times, quality, all those sorts of things on the shop floor, and the quality inspection side as well, where we can go in and capture information about what's happening as we're producing this product. And this quality inspector, I didn't show that on the distribution side, but it works there as well, right? So if you're doing incoming quality inspections or outbound checklists before you ship things, this is a great tool for managing all of those sorts of things as well. In addition, in the manufacturing side, we've got maintenance managers. So if you want to do, CMMS, so electronic asset maintenance, we've got a solution for that as well. And even little things like our safety logbook, which is a free tool for capturing HSE events and things like that. All right, at any rate, once we've executed it, we go back and we send it out the door. This is the same stuff that we had on the warehousing side, because, hey, once we've got inventory, we got to get out the door, and we've got the ability to plan that fulfillment. So plan our shipping, to do our picking, our shipping, everything on mobile devices, and, to get it out the door with the shipping solution. So simple as that. All right, now, out of all those, I did mention a number of free applications. So these are, there's roughly, well, it's more than 30. There's over 30 free applications that we offer. Some of those are tied to our WMS, the Warehouse Insight. But these are kind of the core ones that people would want to use. So up at the top here, again, the planning and forecasting. We'll go through this a little bit as we get into the demo. But again, being able to plan your purchasing in a warehouse environment. So Business Central can do that, but you don't want to do that. You don't want to use the standard Business Central tools in a warehousing environment. You want to use this enhanced planning worksheet, and it's free. So, use it. And I should mention, it's free for one concurrent user. So one user at a time. If you use the free version, if you use the paid version, as many people as you want can use it. And the same thing for the forecasting worksheet, right? You want to do sales forecasting, so basic sales forecasting. If you've never done forecasting before, you want to go invest $100,000 or something in a forecasting solution, grab this. It's free. Use the machine learning, like the Azure AI model, to go out and do your forecasting and get you something back that you can plan against. Some these guys in green here are more integration tools. So something Center would use to help you get set up, so cloud printing and barcode generation and things like that. But these are highly utilized solutions, tens of thousands of people using those every day. And down at the bottom are sort of the big guys here, right? So the graphical scheduler I talked about, doc extender, simple drag and drop. Business Central has drag and drop. It's great, works fine. This is easier, and it also allows you to store documents in SharePoint, which allows you to go in and build a full document management solution from within Business Central and SharePoint, like automation, like alerts and revisions and all sorts of things, just by the nature of dropping something into Business Central and leveraging SharePoint on the back end. And then Order Ship Express, I mentioned already, free, well, it's not free shipping. The application is free. You still pay for your shipping, but you do get discounted rates if you're using UPS, FedEx, USPS, all those sorts of things. If you don't have discounted rates already with an account, you get those with Order Ship Express, and the application's free. And then WMS Express, we talked about, the free solution for your warehouse management. So between these two, right, depending on the scale of your operation, you might not have to spend a cent on anything to do with warehouse management or shipping solutions within Business Central. Okay. And if you need more than what these two offer, then we do have those solutions as well. And then finally, safety logbook I briefly mentioned, but just for capturing, any sort of events or certifications or audits within the facility. Free, just grab it off AppSource and away you go. All right, so that was a lot of blabbing. With that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in and show you what some of this stuff looks like. So first, we're going to start with doing some basic order entry and some basic configuration. I didn't mention in either of these two applications we're going to look at in the presentation, but these are the one we're looking at now is counter sales. So it's more meant for sort of a retail environment, right? So if I'm doing a point of sale type solution, but you can use it for simplified order entry for anybody within the organization. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start a quick new sales order here. And the way I've got it configured, it's more in the sort of the retail mode. So when I do a quick sales order, if I'm in a, whatever, Starbucks or something, I'm going to tap on the type of product that I want to sell. So I've got, my menu board here, and I can say, yeah, I want to sell, 2 of those guys and enter that in. And it's just going to bring it in on the sales order here. And here I can come in and I can scan barcodes. So if you're in a point of sale situation, I can come in and scan barcodes, all those sorts of things, use the touch screen to select the product I'm selling, that kind of stuff. Credit card integration, all of that is in there. But I'm going to just, flip out of the sort of quick scan view here, and I'm going to jump into the sales order to show you a little bit on the configuration. So I'm going to come in here. Well, actually, I'll mention a few things. This frequently bought together is kind of nice, right? So even if you're not in a retail environment, if you're entering orders in the back office or something like that, somebody orders this, I can tell you, well, when people buy this, they usually buy, any number of these things as well, and I can sort of see how many they buy. So it makes it very easy to upsell or ensure that somebody's getting everything they need when they purchase something. But real quick, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to configure an item. So if you have configurable items, like anything that you're selling that maybe has options, or even kitting, if you're in a distribution environment and you want to do kitting and you want to be able to build a configured kit, that's what this allows us to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell a bike. And when I choose that type of product that I'm selling, it's going to come up and it shows me all the options that I can select for this. These guys in red obviously are mandatory, so I have to come in and I have to choose, all the different options. And when I choose this one, I've got some rules in there and says, hey, do you want to use a light? Sure, I'll add a light to it. And I can come in and I can add in, all of my options here that we want for this particular bike. And you can see it's building up a nice image of it for us over there as we build this up. And then when it calculates out my cost and my price that I need to sell it for, and I need to sell more of these. I'm making a lot of money on this bike. This is awesome. All right, so that's basically it. Now, what it does when we do that is it actually builds out the full bill of materials, routing, everything else we need. And again, if you're doing kitting, it can build out an assembly BOM to kit that up before we ship it. So whether it's assembly or production, it can build that out. And just as a real quick example of what it built, so what it actually did, if I go in and show what the configurator built, it built out this full bill of materials along with all the labor required and everything to manufacture this product. But again, we can use it with assembly orders for kitting or anything else. All right, so I've got my order in place here. Now, based on what I'm selling here, I'm going to need to either purchase this product or purchase the components I need to, kit or sell this product. So the next step, after we've got all our sales demand and everything in, I'm going to switch over to a different role center here. We're going to do this planning. Okay, so this is the enhanced planning worksheet. Again, it's free. If you want to use it for a single concurrent user, you just install it and away you go. I'm going to open it up, and this is, if you've never seen Business Central before, this is where you come in and you do your planning. So we've got a worksheet here, and there's a couple of ways I can do planning. I can do full manufacturing planning, or I can just focus on the purchase plan. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, hey, for me, I've got a bunch of options here. I won't get into it, but you can see we can leverage forecasts and all sorts of stuff. I'm going to say for my particular location, whether it's my warehouse or a store or whatever, I'm going to run a plan and it's going to tell me what I need to purchase. So when I do that, what it does, it looks at all my inventory, all my existing supply, all my demand, mushes them together, figures out what the gap is, and tells me exactly what I need to, supply the demand that I have out there. And that demand could be forecast demand, could be, real demand from sales orders, could be production demand, it doesn't matter, brings it all in. And over on the side, it tells me kind of what's going to happen if I accept this. It's telling me to order 60 of these things. If I accept it, what I'm going to be left with at the end. If I scroll down, I can see what other locations may have available there. So maybe I don't want to buy it. Maybe I just want to transfer it. I can also come down. Let's find one here that's actually got a vendor. So here, when I look at this one, it's telling me, okay, I have to get it from this vendor, how much I'm planning on spending with this vendor based on the plan I've generated. Did I meet my prepaid threshold? Those sorts of things. So it's giving me all that information. There's a nice vendor planning summary. So if you're in a distribution environment, this is a must-have, because I can go in and I can look at it per vendor. What do I need to buy from each vendor and sort of approve what I need to buy. And once I've reached a threshold here, I can cut a PO for it, right? I can cut a PO anytime, but ideally you kind of want to have a running total for a few days or a week or whatever, and then cut the PO when it makes the most sense for you. All right, and then down at the bottom here, we can do things. Let me just find one here that's got some decent history. I can come in, this is telling me, hey, you need to buy 50 of these things. But if I look at this, I never sell 50, right? So this is a good way of seeing quickly and visually, what my history is. Does this suggestion of buying 50 make sense? And if it doesn't, I can change it here. Or I can come in and change the assumptions that we have for purchasing. So all of this sort of planning capabilities built in and leveraged. So in this case, it says, hey, when I get below, or when I get to 25 or below, I need to reorder it. And it's saying I have to order a minimum of 50 at a time. And so that's why it's telling me to buy these 50 here because of these settings, and I can change that. I can also come in here and look at, my supply demand profile. So, I started out with negative inventory. That's bad, but I had it. So I come in, I can see all my sales orders, the purchases that I have in place, all my other sales orders, and I can kind of see that running total and things like that. So at any rate, this allows you to come in, quickly run a plan, look at all the information about what it's telling you to purchase. And then when I'm done, I can simply come in and say, create my purchase orders, approve them immediately. You don't have to, but I can approve them immediately and automatically send them to the vendor in one shot. So if you're busy doing, purchase planning in a spreadsheet, that's pretty typical in distribution environments in Excel, whatever, this eliminates that. You run this thing, it says, here's what you need to buy. You can review it. You can make changes if you like. You hit a button, all your POs are sent to the vendor. Simple as that. Like, saves a ton of time. And if you're in manufacturing planning, same thing, right? It's going to go and plan all your production activities, plan all your purchases required for that production activity, and away you go. So let's briefly talk about production activities. Here I am, I'm loading up the graphical scheduler. And again, this is another free tool for Business Central. And this is, again, more tailored to manufacturing environments. But we have, if you install this, we have a pick scheduler, so you can go in and schedule your warehouse picks. You can come in and create views for almost anything you like, including quality assignments, your shipping calendar, all of those sorts of things. You can do whatever you like in here, right? And you can use it like an Outlook calendar, or more like this, which is a bit of a Gantt chart style view. And if you're in the manufacturing environment, what this is showing me is all my work centers, all the work that needs to be done on them, and I can zoom in and out and everything else. But I'm going to choose this particular production order, right? This manufacturing thing I need to do. And when I click on it, it highlights all the operations, everything I need to do with it. And I'm just going to right click and say zoom to that document so I can see everything related to that production activity on the screen at once. And I can come in now and get a closer view. You can change colors, you can show loading, all that kind of stuff, and you can drag and drop, right? So if I look at this and I say, I can't do this work at the same time I'm doing this work, I can just take it and say, I'm going to move it over here onto this machine, and it's going to reschedule that all for me automatically. Okay, so again, this is more production oriented, and you can do all sorts of views and things like that. It also does capture maintenance, though I should mention it. You can schedule your maintenance on here and everything as well. So even if you're not doing production, but you want to do forklift maintenance or whatever, you can schedule all that through this. You want to do pick scheduling, you can do all that through here as well. So that's a graphical scheduler. Okay, now let's say I've run my plan, I've got all my purchases defined, everything else that I need. And now what I need to do is I need to actually receive that product or pick the product in the warehouse. So that's where we flip over to the WMS. So what you see here is the screen from the handheld device that I have in front of me. And this is, all the different applications that you have available. Now, this is the full Warehouse Insight, which is, the full WMS solution that has the ability to create your own applications without writing any code whatsoever. So these guys in here, I went through the application wizard and built those applications, right? We also have a low code environment where you can just drag and drop blocks and you can build your own applications as well. And then we have a bunch of add-in applications like proof of delivery or fixed asset counting, things like that you can just click a button, plug in, they're all free, and away you go. All right, so at any rate, all the things that you need to do in the warehouse, regardless of how your warehouse operates. So maybe you don't use picks, maybe you just pick against a sales order, or maybe, when you're receiving, you just receive against the purchase order and you don't have a separate activity to put it away. Doesn't matter. You can set all of that up. The system will adapt to the way you work within your facility. Now let's run through a couple of these. But before I do that, let me just show my camera here. So that's actually the device that I have in my hand. Now, this is a nice rugged device. I just got it plugged in to share the screen here, but this is a nice rugged device with a physical keypad, but you don't need to use that. There's all sorts of devices like, these guys here, which really are just like a touch screen, but they're a scanner, nice and rugged, everything else that you can use there. So it doesn't really matter what device you use. You can even run it on a phone if you like. But what this allows us to do is now start scanning. So for example, if we want to do some receiving, I can go into the receiving application here, and it brings up, and it's just logging in for the first time today, but it brings up all the purchase orders that I can receive against. And there's a few things you could do here. You could scan an item and it'll filter this list down, or you can, scan the barcode for the document or type in part of the number there or whatever. But for me, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab, I just use the arrow keys of my keypad to select that, but of course it's all touch screen. I'm just going to come in here, grab that particular purchase order, hit enter, and bring up the purchase order that I need to receive against. So here's everything on that purchase order in Business Central that I need to receive. And now I'm going to grab my barcodes. We got some sample barcodes here. These are printed out. You can see they're all worn out, just like in real life. We spend a lot of money and time to make these documents look this realistic. But these are my barcodes. So these are generated from our barcode generator application within Business Central, just to give me a list. But I'm using these data matrix, these square ones. Doesn't matter what barcode format it is. Ideally, you're going to use your vendor's barcodes or your manufacturer barcodes, UPC codes, whatever it is. If they don't provide them, you can come in, you can print your own barcodes from the handheld or from within Business Central, and away you go. But assuming I have the barcodes, all I have to do is come in here, scan the barcode that I need to receive. It finds it in the list, optionally shows me a picture of that if you like, and allows me to specify the quantity. So I'm just going to enter 12 there because that's all I found in the first box. And now what it's done is it's updated Business Central with that quantity, and we're good to go, right? So the first time you use it, it took 2 seconds there to update the quantity. After that, it's pretty much instant. And I've got it turning red here just to show that we've partially received it. But let me just do another quick one just to show you how it works. So now I'll do this guy here, shows me the picture. I'm going to receive 10 of those, let's say, and you're going to receive in any unit of measure you want. You can see it happen pretty much instantly. Updated Business Central with that quantity of 10. This is that real-time information that you're getting into Business Central, right? Customer phones up and says, hey, do you have any of those 1964 things? And you can say, hey, yeah, they just got 10 in receiving right now, versus, oh, it's on a purchase order. I don't know when they're coming in. Let me go run in the back and ask the guys if it's shown up yet. You've got that real-time information, so you can actually make good decisions as you're going. Okay, so that's receiving. There's a bunch of stuff you can do here. Again, we've got RFID support. We've got the ability to take photos anywhere within the system, but this is nice because we take a photo and it attaches to the purchase order. Or on the shipping side, if I want to take pictures of pallets and trucks before they leave, I can take those photos. They automatically upload and attach into Business Central. So I've got the proof I need if there's a problem with the product coming in or the product leaving, right? Capturing signatures, all sorts of things that we can do on these handheld devices from within Warehouse Insight. So that's basically how it works. Now picking, I won't spend a ton of time on, but it's the same process. I can come in here, I can choose my pick document, and then when I come in, I have the ability to scan the bin or the item, or just scan the item. I've got it set up so I can just scan the item I need to pick, and it brings up the picture. I hit enter, or if I need to scan, if I'm picking those 4, so I scanned 4, I would just have to scan that thing 4 times. So at any rate, anything you need to do within the warehouse to indicate to Business Central what's going on, you can do from these handheld devices or tablets or whatever you want to do, including advanced inventory count, which is significantly better than the standard Business Central inventory count, and definitely worth having. Even if you just use WMS Express, you can still use that advanced inventory count with it. So you've got free barcoded, you've got the free barcoding and the advanced inventory count if you want to license that to do it, or you can use the basic count with WMS Express. So now you've got inventory counting with mobile devices, really at no cost if you're using the WMS Express. Okay, at any rate, that's using the handheld devices. Let's go back into Business Central. So now, I've entered my order, I've planned all the purchasing or production, I've scheduled it using the graphical scheduler, I've picked it, received it, done everything I need to do in the warehouse with those handheld devices. Now I need to get it out the door. I need to ship this thing. So what I'll do is I'll show you Order Ship Express, which again is the free tool, right? Dynamic Ship, the difference is, it does multi-carrier rate shopping, it does address validation, rate shopping from the sales order, LTL, all sorts of stuff, right? Order Ship Express is great if you're doing domestic parcel. So that's really what it's used for, is if you're shipping domestically and parcel. Now it works in any country, but it's only domestic shipment. It won't do international shipments. But the way it works, I've got the sales order here, and if it's the warehouse personnel doing the shipping, there's another screen called Sales Order Shipping that you would use, and the warehouse personnel can load this up, and they don't see the whole sales order. They're shipping from their specific screen. They don't see all of this. I'm just showing you from a sales order just to illustrate that if I'm entering a sales order and I want to ship it out right from here, I can. And the way I do that is I simply go in and I say create shipping labels. Now, this customer defaults to USPS and Express, but you can choose, your different carriers here. So if Order Ship Express, you can have up to 3 carriers at a time in here, and of course all their services that they offer. That's defaulted in based on the customer, and so all I have to do is say, okay, well, it's a 5 by 5 by 5 package. It weighs 5 pounds, and whatever you want to do there. Now, Dynamic Ship, the full guy. That'll integrate with dimensioners, scales, all sorts of stuff. It's got a lot more capability, but this is great. Like if I'm, even doing 100 packages a day, this tool is great. If I'm shipping everything USPS or UPS, this thing works fine. If I want to choose different carriers and things like that, you might want to go to Dynamic Ship. At any rate, at this point, all I have to do is say get label, or I could set some options like I want, adult signature or, whatever, those sorts of things, or print some stuff on the label, like the PO number or something like that. But for me, maybe the customer says, well, if I ship it express, how much is it? And I can hit this get rate, and it tells me immediately what I'm going to pay for that label and what the customer is going to pay me for that label. Okay. And I don't have to do that. I did that just to look at it, but I would just hit get label. And what it's doing now is it's going out, generating the USPS label and printing it out. And we didn't see it print out because it used our cloud printing solution to actually go out, and that label is now sitting on the printer, label printer or laser printer or whatever it is. I put it on the box and I'm good to go. And as an option, it brought in the cost of that label and what we're charging the customer for it onto that sales order automatically. And if we go down here, it also grabbed the tracking number from that label as well. So all automatic. I clicked a couple buttons, I entered the weights and the dimensions, and I'm done. And that's it. That's how I do shipping. And just to show you what it looks like, I've done this a few times, but this is the label that I just generated. And it's not rocket magic. It's, you know, a USPS label, and it prints out, and away we go. And you can have multi-package shipments and all sorts of stuff. I can refund the label, create return labels if a customer wants to return their product, whatever you want to do. All right, so that's basically it. We walked through sort of entering the order, you know, planning it, scheduling it, managing it in the warehouse, and then shipping it out the door. There's a lot more to it. I didn't mention order fulfillment worksheet. In higher volume environments, this really automates the decision-making process of what can I ship today. Okay, so this would typically happen, you know, every day or every 30 minutes on a schedule behind the scenes, where it comes in, figures out what you can actually ship, automatically generates your picking documents for the warehouse that just show up now nicely on the handheld device. They go out, they pick it, and away you go. So if you're in an environment where, you know, a shipping manager or warehouse manager walks in the morning and the first thing on his mind is, what can I ship today, or what do I need to ship today? That's the order fulfillment worksheet, and you need to have it. It really is a must-have for those types of environments. All right, with that, I think that's all I wanted to show on the demo for this short presentation. So I'm going to hand it back over to the guys from Center to finish up, but here's some contact information if you do have any questions on anything you've seen today.
Mark, thank you so much for the presentation
You're
today.
welcome.
Steve, any other questions, comments to maybe add before we
No,
wrap
I would
things up?
just kind of, like I said at the beginning, especially these free apps, we have customers using those, and they truly are free. It's not like, oh, this is an app that doesn't really do anything. These are really good free apps. And sometimes you need more later, but I mean, those have worked really well. And just I'd say the other thing I would say here is, if you want to dig further, of course, there's to contact us, but Mark and his team have an excellent website and really good in-depth resources if you want to learn more there too. So that's been very helpful to us and our customers.
Yeah, thanks, and that's a good point. Anything that you've seen here today, if you go to the website, which is dmsiworks.com, or contact Eric or Steve, and they can help you out. But those videos are pretty in-depth for all of the different products that we have available if you're curious and want to learn more.
Excellent. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Mark. Allie, just double checking. I don't think I saw any questions.
No questions
in
in the chat today.
Okay, no worries, no worries. Again, as Mark and Steve mentioned, if anybody is interested in learning more, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We're available via phone call or email, but we really want to thank everybody for taking their time to join today's webinar, and I hope you all have a good rest of the day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.